again, alav shalom. So robbery is not only done with their hands, chas shalom. It can also be done with the mouth, like with words like "next time." Right? The lady goes to the grocery store down the block. When the cashier rings her up, he says, "Listen, you're short a little bit." He says, "Don't worry about it. Next time." He says, "Okay, next time." And what if he said no need to? So the matter would have ended. But since he didn't, so now she has a debt, and even a debt of $50. It's at the end of the day, it's a debt, and we have to keep our word and pay our debts, right? So why put yourself in that test? Person should go and try to never owe anybody, in order that God forbid you should not forget. There's halakha Shulchan Aruch. You're not allowed to give a loan to your friend without a document, without a star, because then if you give him a loan, you're going to call him up for the loan. He's going to say, "Jonam, which loan? I don't know what you're talking about." Chas v'shalom, he'll forget, and you put him before don't put a stomach block before the blind. Chas v'shalom. So therefore, a person has to be careful when he says next time. A debt is a debt, and you got to be paid in full. One time, many years ago, he says there was a guy named Shmuel. He went up to the Torah for Aliyah, and he pledged 2 times high. So people like to donate high, life. So he donated life, but Chas v'shalom, if he doesn't pay this debt, it could be in the opposite, Chas v'shalom. So therefore, a person has to be careful. The Torah says, "K'chol yotzeh mepiv ya'aseh." Whatever comes out of your mouth, you got to do. So when you take a vow, you promise to pay something, you got to pay it. So therefore, a person shouldn't say, "Oh, Rabbi, I said bli neder when I made the pledge." Bli neder means like you don't really have to do it. But the person has to know that for the koach of the tzedakah, you want that merit of the tzedakah, you got to pay it. People have a chas v'shalom misconception. They think that you can pay next Rosh Hashanah. I can pay all the bills that I got from this Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. It's not true. Once Allah says that once the clerk, the gabbai, he sends you a message telling you owe a certain balance, so now you're chayav to pay. You have to pay, and you have to know that in advance. You have to factor that in. Unless you set up already in advance monthly payment, that's something else. But if a person owes a balance, he should pay it as soon as possible if you have the money. Person shouldn't pay his personal expenses and his personal luxuries and leave the shul last. The shul has rabbis to pay, the shul has workers to pay, the shul has bills to pay, and why should they be whenever you decide they'll be afloat or not? Person has to make sure that better not to vow and not pay, says Kohelet. Don't vow if you can't if you can't pay, then to vow and to not pay. You shouldn't vow to begin with.
The synagogue says we'll give you a year to pay for it.
That's what they said?
Yeah.
Okay, so ask them. I don't think that's true, but you have to ask them and tell me if they said that. Some people they think that whenever they decide is when they'll pay, and you have to make sure that God by asking you for the money, you have to have the money. We have to realize that if you want God to keep His word, what was Ne'ilah? Ne'ilah was Hashem. Whatever year you had for me stored, lock it in. Don't change it. Don't. It is. I sealed it in with Ne'ilah. You have to know that the way we keep our word is the way God keeps His word, right? When we do Kol Nidrei, why was Kol Nidrei so powerful? Kol Nidrei is we nullified all our vows, and that way God will also nullify His evil decrees or bad decrees against us. But if we don't keep our word, so then Hashem says, then why do I have to keep my word? We know that Yeshua ben Lewi, right? The Malach HaMavet came to told him it's the time for your life to end. You have to give me your neshama. He says, all I ask of you, please, is to let me see my place in Gan Eden before I die. So he said, okay, no problem. He said, however, I can't go like this. You have to give me your sword. So he gave the Malach HaMavet, gave the Yeshua ben Levi his sword. They went up to Shamayim and he said, look over this wall and you're going to see your place in Gan Eden. He says, okay, but I can't see. It's too tall. So they gave him a boost. Yeshua ben Levi jumped over the wall, went to Gan Eden alive. So then the Malach HaMavet said to Kadosh Baruch Hu, what is this? You can't have a person who's alive over here in Gan Eden. And right away, Yeshua ben Levi made a vow, I'm never leaving this place. I made a vow. So the Malach HaMavet said to Hashem, nullify his vow, Atarat Nedarim. So the Kadosh Baruch Hu, we're going to say, Ketubot says, the Kadosh Baruch Hu said, he never went against his word, he never did Atarat Nedarim, I never will do Nedarim for him. So he's going to stay. B'zchut that he kept his word, even Hashem can't go against his word, and can't go and nullify his word. That's the koach of a person always keeping his word. So if we want the good decrees to stay, we need to be able to keep our word as well. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.